Hello, beach friends. Did you know in Florida, approximately 75% of the residents live in coastal counties? Well, I'm one of those people, and most of the time I consider myself lucky to live here. But there are other times when the same ocean that mesmerizes me creates storms that reshape the coastline and destroy communities. But today we're going to concentrate on the upside of living in Southwest Florida, and we will be exploring my favorite beach, Fort Myers Beach, as we look for anything and everything that Hurricane Helene might have left behind. I did get to the beach before the sun came up, so I'm not going to be able to record properly for a little bit. So let's talk about the tide real quick. I normally pay very close attention to the tide, and that was one of the reasons I was quite excited to come today. It's only been 6 days since Hurricane Helene passed this island. Today is low tide, and this is my favorite beach, and so it didn't disappoint. We are going to see critters, all different types of critters, and we will find seashells. Lots and lots of awesome seashells. And I'll pepper you with information about these shells and maybe even treat you with some of my sarcasm. Okay, my camera is going to struggle just a little bit, still not quite bright enough out, but I really wanted to show you. This is our state shell, the Florida horseconch, and it's a pretty decent size. I know it's got some beach gunk on it, but my second favorite thing other than finding shells is cleaning them, so that doesn't bother me at all. Now this is messy and this looks wonderful. Is there anything else? Lots of broken stuff, but look at this nut. All right, you can't really look at the nutmeg, can you? All right, well, I promise you I will show you a nutmeg in really good focus in just a little bit. And if you want to see what else is out there for us today, let's go to the beach. So happy to say I made it here to Fort Myers Beach. I did get here very early, as I'd mentioned, because I really didn't know what to expect. There had been cleanup going on with the sand and whatnot. So I did make it here, and we're going to start beachcombing. We'll see what's out there. First, we'll see a critter. So I think this is a blue crab, and it wanted to dance. And as much as I'd love to, friend, there's some seashells I want to kind of go look for. So we're going to leave that dancing crab behind. Oh my goodness, it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice sunrise. And I am purposely kind of walking on the water so the pink is above and then the reflection on the water, and it is so pretty. So as I'm walking down to my shelling area, guess what? I'm going to show you this whole thing. We're going to put a pin in this. We're going to come back to that in a little while. Oh, it's so beautiful. So just keep that in mind. We're not gonna miss out on that sunrise. But I really do want to kind of explore the beach. So let's jump into our first creature. So I guess, well, technically all of the shells that we collect are from creatures, as is this. So this is from a flat urchin. We call them sand dollars. And they are from the urchin family. Now, don't let that color fool you. That is perfectly fine to collect. I will show you a live sand dollar and the difference between the two. Low tide, here we go. So low tide is going to be a little bit lower than 0.5 today. Is low enough. Oh, so pretty. So yeah, that is my surroundings as I'm exploring. Okay, here's another sand dollar, except this time it's alive. And you can see one of its little keyholes. It's almost like it's respirating. It's got its little cilia. So this is a live sand dollar, and it's clearly got little hairs all over it. It is clearly moving all over. Now, its mouth is in the middle, and I'll show you again on another sand dollar what that looks like. But that is a living sand dollar. You notice it's very dark. All of the live ones will typically be dark. Ooh, wouldn't that be cool if there was an albino sand dollar? So all creatures stay at the beach, just like that happy sand dollar, and that's okay. I already have one, the collectible one. Okay, here's another one. And again, it's on the dark side, but yeah, no cilia. Now, and then on the back in the center there, that's where its mouth would be, that little hole that was there. So don't worry too much about the color of the sand dollar. Worry about the texture and look for those little hairs. Oh, a shark eye. All right, that is fabulous, like a Paul Newman shark eye. Okay, and that hole was created by another shark eye. And shark eyes are members of the moon snail family. Oh, and there's a little chestnut turban there as well. My surroundings are still lovely. All right, and this, yeah, just to kind of establish where I am. I'm not quite all the way at the south end of the island, but I'm making my way there. Oh, a spiny jewel box. And this one happens to be quite spiny. Oh, they're so cool. Just love how many different textures you can find. Go from the sand dollar to a spiny jewel box, back to a sand dollar. So I guess I'm in the sand dollar section of the beach. Here is another one, a little bit lighter. And all the sand dollars, me personally, I soak them in hydrogen peroxide. Lovely. 5-hole keyhole sand dollar. All right, yeah, I can't. If the camera is struggling to see, then it's kind of low light. Oh, that's a real nice one. So yeah, the sun will kind of bleach them out the longer they hang out here. Although it's kind of, they're kind of delicate, so it's kind of a balance. Kind of, how do you find those perfect white sand dollars? Buttercup lucine. It's a member of the lucine family. It's lots of different lucines. That one happens to be buttercup, and then a calico scallop. Lovely. Oh, and a calico clam. So yeah, we even have fancy clams. That is one of my favorite, one of my 2 favorite fancy clams. It's a calico clam. Just lovely. Yeah, and in the background, there is the lull of power equipment. Now, honestly, most of that is from Ian. And then we had Helene come through. So there's probably a little bit. Helene was definitely, it was a storm surge event. It was not an insane hurricane like we experienced with Ian about 2 years ago. Okay, and I was kind of hoping for a chunkier beach. This is good. I mean, there's definitely stuff to go through here. Kind of take a closer peek. All right, it's your more common stuff. What do we got? Yeah, that's a seraph, just kind of covered with beach stuff. All right, here is a spiny slipper snail. So yeah, nothing terribly exciting. It's fine, like we could have picked through there, but let's kind of keep moving. Let's see if anything more exciting kind of pops out at us. All right, an auger. Oh, I really like augers. Yeah, I do. I have a little bowl just dedicated to augers. I don't talk about them a lot, but they are very lovely. Very fetching shell. Okay, so now, okay, great. I can kind of see in the water now. I can't shell in the water if I can't see. And what? Oh, there's a bunch of good stuff here. Let's see. And I'm normally chanting, don't worry about the conchs. Oh, here we go. Here's a lightning whelk. Oh, that's nice. Nice sized lightning whelk. Beautiful. I do see conchs, and they're my favorite shell. So I need to kind of be careful because I tend to overdo it with them, and they're heavy. Okay, so that is broken. Deal breaker. I'm not going to worry about that. You're going to stay here. What about you? Yeah, you're kind of pretty. I like your shape. Yep, you're coming with me. All right. What? Next up, we have a lettered olive. Sometimes this feels like pulling like magic, like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. So I'm pulling the seashells out of the water. So that is a lettered olive. Oh, and here we have a rather beautiful, don't worry, I do see the cone, but look at that fighting conch. Oh, the orange, oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. Okay, now, and believe it or not, the alphabet cones are a lot harder to find, much more collectible, a more desirable shell, but I really wanted to kind of go gaga over that fighting conch. So, yep, nice little handful of beautiful shells. We have an alphabet cone, and then that gorgeous orange Florida fighting conch. Oh, that is beautiful. Okay, little banded tulip. Yep, that is a fine little shell. It's funny, down south of here, they're extremely common. They're not rare up here, just a little bit harder to find. I'm about an hour north of, say, Marco Island. Another lettered olive. Still looking for an albino. Albino anything, frankly. I do really like the albino shells. All right, what's here? Little this, little that, little tinies. Okay, fly speck seraph. Oh, no, you have a hole in it. We'll go with you instead. There we go. Fly speck seraph with no hole. Here's a bruised NASA. Those are pretty typical. If you're down kind of looking at tinies, that's going to pop out at you. All right, here's a little, all right, little broken crown conch. Okay, that is terrific. Yeah, your crossbarred Venus clam. That's going to be pretty. You should, if there's sand, there's going to be crossbarred Venus clams, so they're pretty common. What? A little lentil trap. Oh, oh, that's so cool. That rarely. All right, this is like the second time that's ever happened. That is awesome. All right, little mauve mouth drill. Oh my goodness, what a fun surprise, a little lentil trap. Ooh. So that's what I like about storms. They really kind of kick up a bunch of different stuff. Oh, look at this. This is a pitted murex. It's not in great shape. Apparently, I don't really want to show you. Okay, there. So yeah, that's a pitted murex. Still fun to find. I feel like I'm finding them more often. Maybe my brain is trained now. All right, everything's kind of like the same color, so I'm looking for shapes. And good thing, would you look at that? So another alphabet cone. Oh, that's terrific. All right, any letters? I see an F, an X, a J. Yeah. That's why it's called an alphabet cone. Kind of fun. Oh, that's terrific. Oh, and a sand dollar. It took me a second to kind of, all right, just got a little bit of sediment on it. Okay, that's why everything's the same color. Yeah, don't worry about that. It could turn out completely white. I just take them all and, or I take the sand dollars, they're not broken, and I just kind of work it out when I get home. Oh my gosh. So my friends, this is a nutmeg. In the beginning, I said it was, I would show you another one. This one is huge. Oh, that is awesome. So that is a common nutmeg. Oh, whoa. So this is pretty exciting. We have a third alphabet cone. Wow. It's in good shape. It's got a great size. The aperture is even, wow. That is awesome. Oh. Yeah, that's terrific. Another alphabet cone. And so these conditions, this is the kind of thing that happens after storms. It just kind of kicks up more stuff. So for me, it is a little unusual to find 3 alphabet cones on Fort Myers Beach. This little horse conch is beautiful. Look at that orange color. Oh. Now they do tend to lose their color as they get bigger. Oh, that is spectacular. Oh, and another really fun shell. So this is a spiny paper cockle. I do not find them often. I probably only have like maybe 5. Oh, that is so cool. And because it's so unusual, I kind of commit it to memory. Now there, that's where the spines are for the spiny paper cockle. Kind of cool. Okay, crown conch. Yeah, Fort Myers Beach definitely has crown conchs. I have found really spectacular specimens. This one has been here a while. The size is really nice, but I'm going to leave that for somebody else. Maybe as a starter shell. That's kind of what I do. If I don't have that specimen, I keep whatever, and then I hope to find a better example of it, and then I'll just kind of replace it out. So maybe that's somebody's starter shell. Right here, oh, it was kind of buried together. So another spiny jewel box with a pretty purple interior, and it's rather spiny. So another, yeah, it's probably one of the spinier or the spikier examples of a seashell that we have down here. So this is an apple murex. Those are kind of nice. Those are nice and textured as well. But then again, well, you know, if it's at the beach a while, it'll kind of erode and kind of wear down. But that's a nice looking apple murex. Short spine sea star. Hi, friend. They're so cute. Their little tube feet. They're adorable. Only once I found one of those sea stars. It only had 4 arms. It was like a sea cross. That was kind of wacky and just really neat to see. I just like seeing different stuff. Okay, shark eye. Yeah, you've been here a minute. Do you see a lettered olive? Yep. Terrific. Okay, back up on the sand. Oh, would you look at the tiniest top shell? Oh my gosh, I'm starting a new collection, tinies. Oh, it's so cute. All right, I'll show you a regular size top shell. That's a little itty bitty top shell. Oh, and a simile. It would be a lot easier if everything was just like a clam or a scallop, but nope, we have similes too. Not to be confused with the lucines or the pectins. Lots of different shells. And I'm just interested, so I just remember this stuff. That is a horse conch, and it's quite cute. Not that, you know, it's not that beautiful orange color, but yellow works for me. Now, this could possibly be the biggest fighting conch I've ever found. I know maybe you can't quite tell. Let me show you. So that's on the right. That's normally the size of the fighting conch that I'm picking up. And the one, look, I am really sorry it's blurry. But just for size, let's not pay attention to focus. But it's not like twice the size, but it's huge. Oh, it's so cool. I'm really hoping that'll clean up okay. That was awesome. So I'm finding some really interesting stuff to go into my collection. And I'm looking at this beach and oh my gosh, where's all the sand? At this tide, it should not look like this. So I can only imagine what is going on up north. All right, let's switch over to happy again. Hi. So this is a crown conch. Whoa, it's huge. It's alive. And I love, so the front of the shell is where the little critter and the head's going to be. And I'm really trying to show you how adorable these animals really are. I know it just looks like a lump of green slime, but if you look underneath, that's its little head right there. So kind of keep an eye on that. You know, oh, it's so cute. Oh, hi. Look, it's going to peek around the corner. Hi, buddy. Now, I did have some help from my friend Mikey, who she named this Lever Boy. So this was recorded at a different time. But what a great example. You can really see the head kind of coming out. Oh, so I love the crown conchs. I think they're like the most friendly of all the little critters that I come into. Although I really do like the calico crabs too. But from an animal perspective, the crown conchs are pretty fun. They're way funner than like the banded tulips and the apple murex. And never throw them because their bodies are attached to their shell with a muscle and you can harm them, maybe even kill them. So don't throw animals. Seems kind of obvious. Oh, that is beautiful shark eye. Look at that swirl color. Now it's a little broken, and normally that's a deal breaker for me. But it's broken in just the right way. Oh, it's so pretty. Yep. The rose petal talon. Now, I know this is hinged and it's closed, but I know it's also not alive because it had a drill hole on the other side. Yeah. So I know that's empty. Yep. But beautiful, right? Sometimes I suspect the shells that are with the animals that were living recently, those shells are in much better condition than some of the other shells. And I even found another one as I was going down to rinse everything off. So yeah, the rose petal talon, typically find those here at Fort Myers Beach and they're just beautiful. Okay, looking at tinies. What do we got here? Oh, it's a little button shell. I'm gonna add that with that little top snail. Oh, it's adorable. And that other shell, the other nutmeg in the last shot, it was broken. This one is not. It's probably not small enough for me to like put in my little tiny collection, but still adorable. Guess what that is? I know. If you were going to say rose petal talon, I know, right? Crazy. And it used to drive me crazy because I'd find them. I'd be like, what is this? But sometimes the rose petal talons are white. So they come in that pink and they come in the white. And here's just another one I wanted to show you just because the color was so vibrant. They really are beautiful. Oh, goodness. Yep, the rose petal talon. I think I just like seeing that pop of pink on the beach. Okay, there's a top snail. So one of those itty bitty ones I was kind of going a little crazy over. A little top snail. And they're irresistible. I pick almost all of, if I see it, I pick it up. Now, this was really interesting. This is a calico scallop, and obviously it fell upon hard times at some point. So life events like that will be evident in their shells. So just interesting, something happened, some sort of event happened in that little scallop's life. All right, again, no piles. Wow. I did expect maybe angel wings and urchins and okay. Let me pop down into the water. Let's see what's in here. Oh, you're so pretty. Okay, so that is a juvenile Florida fighting conch. And it looks like we're about to play my favorite game, What's in the Swash? So this is my favorite place to shell. It's like a game. Oh, nutmeg. That is gorgeous. It's got its little top, got great color, a fabulous little common nutmeg. Okay. What else? Well, as it turns out, it really wasn't that productive. I did get this juvenile fighting conch, this kind of broken lightning well, not that exciting, and this kind of broken juvenile fighting conch. And so there wasn't much. It was fun to go through there, but you know, not every shell is going to be pristine. Now, normally about this time, I would show you something that I call beach time, and it just kind of gives us a break. It lets your mind wander and kind of do what you want to do. What I did is I recorded that sunrise, and I know you tell me that you close your eyes, but can you do me a favor and watch this? It is stunning, so please enjoy some beach time. I hope you watched. Did you see the way the sky was changing colors? Oh my gosh, it was so pretty. So normally it would have looked like this, but kind of switched it up. We looked at that beautiful sunrise. So moving right along, we have a Florida prickly cockle. I just love the color of the interior of those. Now these are a member of the Cardiidae family. So card for heart, like cardio. And when you hold the shell just so, it looks like a little heart. Now that I was hoping was kind of an albino. It's not. It's almost like I want to start calling these like blonde olives. Almost no color, but it's not an albino. So that's gonna be. I'm gonna call those blonde olives. This is a purplish Tagulus. Yeah, kind of fun. Usually they're kind of brown. They have its periostracum on it, but that is a purplish Tagulus. Cool. Oh, and an angel wing. After a storm here at Fort Myers Beach, I was actually expecting to find a lot more. So the storm, maybe with all the surge, I don't know. Maybe the shells are still out in the ocean and they'll eventually get washed in. I don't know. But that is an angel wing. Oh, another really beautiful fighting conch. It's orange and then it kind of goes yellow ombre color. Oh, you're so pretty. And it's really cool for me because these are really common. So I pretty much any day I go to the beach, I'm stinking happy. Now this is an Atlantic giant cockle, and because I had collected some small shells, I do like to find at least one of these to kind of put the little shells in at the end of the video. So that is a giant Atlantic cockle or a beach bowl. They come in quite handy sometimes. Okay, another nutmeg. It's a nice little nutmeg day. They're so cute, little fat little squat things. Little common nutmeg. Okay, and I did battle with this bag for a little while. So yeah, I do try to pick up garbage. This one was way tough, but I dug and I got most of it out. I did have to leave a little bit behind. I can't dig 6 feet into the sand, but I did what I could. No, the beach is looking a little beat up. All right, piece of thin-fingered coral. Coral's protected. Ugh, it's like it's like the biggest debatable thing, and well, I'm not taking it. You're not supposed to take it, so I'm not going to. I leave coral at the beach now. I did used to collect it. I didn't know any better. Frankly, I think people still do collect it. It is what it is. I am not the coral police. Okay, we have a dark seraph. Would you look at how delicate and beautiful? Now that right there, that's called the siphonal canal. And I know, again, a very common but really beautiful shell, the dark seraph. Oh, and a limpet. All right, couple things going on here. One, it's very discolored. I think it's got some of those little critters, those forams that color the sand. And I think it actually colored the shell. Okay, I'm gonna clean that up. We'll check that out at the very end of the video. And this is, again, this is an alternate talent. Probably not very exciting for a new beach collector, but as you get more experience, you get a little more interested in some of the more common things. So for me, that's real pretty, an alternate talent. Another sand dollar. So apparently I have wandered back into the sand dollar section of the beach, and it does happen like that sometimes. Another lovely sand dollar. Okay. Gonna do battle with this building. Oh, it's just terrible. So that building, yeah, there's a big wall that was created after the storm. So just be careful. Yeah, the tide. Oh, yeah, this is yeah, it's dicey. I would just be careful, especially now because the clarity isn't great. It will, as the water or as winter goes on, the clarity is going to be improved because we're not going to have the mixing of the fresh water and the salt water. There'll be a dolphin out there. Yep. Little bottlenose dolphin just kind of playing out there. Oh no, that's my pier. Oh, there's so much water here. No, oh no, 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 no. Yeah, and it's kind of lowish tide, so yeah. A lot of this sand. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this is not the way. And so I didn't see this. It was dark out, so it didn't look so unusual to me, but this is not the way the beach is supposed to look at this tide. Oh, well. Well, I can hope that winter storms kind of bring in the shells and the sand. Now, I saw this, what I thought was a plastic bag, but it actually was like fiber, so I had to cut it. I did have this tool. Unfortunately, I also kind of cut my thumb, which was a little bit of a bummer. So at least I figured I did it at the end of the video, so you're not going to have to, or I won't be distracted. I don't want to watch my thumb with a Band-Aid picking up shells like this. Watch that. So I wasn't going to leave the apple murex with all its lovely little crevices. So I am going to snag that lovely shell. And as I get ready to leave the beach, I'll say this is not what I expected. I did expect chunkier beach, more piles, more shells really. It was still fantastic, but it just goes to show how hard it really is to predict the weather. I hope everybody else from Helene, I hope they are recovering. The beach, I did experience some traffic. Luckily, I got to the island okay, but getting off the beach, I did see the people getting the sand off the street because that's where all the sand that was on the beach, it ended up on the street. And then it's so weird to see you have these houses. One is still getting built from Hurricane Ian 2 years ago, and then other homes are completely put back together. So down here, it's still kind of a mixed bag down here, but it's still my favorite. All the creatures, all the seashells, it's my favorite. Now, yes, I know I cut myself, but I did remove a little bit of garbage off the beach, 6.9 ounces to be exact. So today was 6.9 ounces in total. I've removed a little over 56 pounds of garbage from our beaches. So that storm really did bring in some kind of nice things. We have a couple of banded tulips and that one kind of beat up alphabet con. Some top shells, horse conchs. There's a little dove. One of my sand dollars broke. There's sand dollars up there. Spiny Joe box. There's bubbles, chestnut turban, some drills. There's a tusk shell, little dusky cone. There's a Florida prickly cockle. And then down to my Florida fighting conchs. Yep, they're going to have a date with bleach. All right, there was one lace murex, a couple of apple murex. There is a dark seraph, a fly speck seraph, a stout tagulus, purplish tagulus, Florida cone, nutmegs, slipper snail, lettered olives, and then lightning whelks. There's a couple of augers, calico scallops, there's that lucine, some fancy clams, the calico clams, the sunray Venus clam, there was one little angel wing there, the beach bowl or the Atlantic giant cockle, there's where my rose petal talons went. And then we're gonna slide into my favorite stuff. Those alphabet cones was such a surprise. That one really orange horse conch, that huge nutmeg, the limpet, the shark eyes, the paper cockle, the spiny paper cockle, the Wentel trap, little tiny shells. That Wentel trap, that was a really swell surprise. And then my fighting conchs, that huge one, and then the knobless one, and then that orange one. Now, if you're one of my Patreons, you already saw those fighting conchs all cleaned up. I already had my bleach day. I showed them to you. And yeah, so if you kind of want some behind the scenes stuff, head on over to Patreon. You can choose a bunch of different levels, and I appreciate your support. Existing Patreons, you help me do all the stuff that I do, and I cannot thank you enough. It means the world to me. It really does. So this limpet, remember how pink that was? So one of my subscribers, this is not soap, helped me out with the foraminifera. So basically it's pink because they're single-celled organisms and they create shells out of the minerals in the water, and the shells are usually a pink or a red, and when they die it turns things pink and red. So when I bleached that limpet, this is what happened. So interesting, that pink quote-unquote dot, like it's not a permanent. Now this shell, it looks kind of chalky and it's super dry, and it probably will get some acid, but that's a different video. So next week we are headed down to South Marco Beach. Again, Patreons, you got a sneak peek. It was pen shell heaven if you like pen shells. So we will look at that next week. Until then, I hope you have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you again next Sunday.